That's right. Happy 316. Austin 316 Day. I figured I might as well kick off the show with this theme song as a way to celebrate. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. I'm on lunch break. I'm now on a diet because, well, I went to the doctor last week. The weight was not good. It was higher than 316. So, as a matter of fact, way higher. So I figured I might as well start eating vegetables and protein and really focusing in on all the good foods and getting rid of the alternation between Culver's and Taco Bell every single day. I'm dropping soda entirely, or as they say around here, pop entirely. I got myself a nice San Pellegrino sparkling Italian limonada lemonade. And it's not going to be as flavorful. I'll crack it open right now. There we go. I'll take my midday heart medication as well. It's great being peaches on Austin 316 Day. What? Yeah, I can't do the impression right now. But anyway, if you want to get a hold of me, you can. Over at 208-535-1015. It is Monday, March 16th. Tomorrow, St. Patrick's Day. I already have, well, my girlfriend already bought the corned beef and cabbage. So yeah, there's that to look forward to tomorrow as well. Another day of just drinking. That's the whole point of this holiday because, you know, the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin, always had to have beer in that ring, right? Anyway, enough of this. Peach's Pit Party will return here in just a few with some more stuff to talk about on K-Barrel 101. Wow, I did not expect that San Pellegrino lemonade to be as lemony as it was. Oh my goodness. That is lemony. As I take another sip of it. Yesterday, almost choked on it too, jeez. Yesterday was Selection Sunday. So now we officially have a field of 68 teams still in play for a national title for NCAA March Madness. We also now can enjoy the time-honored tradition of pretending we know more than we really know. Plenty of people today filling out plenty of brackets. Will suggest they know a bunch about the men's basketball team from each school. Forget about the strength of the basketball team. Do you know where some of these colleges are located? High Point, a number 12 seed. High Point, North Carolina. That's where that college exists. Gonzaga, I think Justin from 105 The Hawk, he's a huge Gonzaga fan. I always called it Gonzaga, but he calls it Gonzaga. I always think that school's on the East Coast. Nope, it's in Spokane, which makes sense because Justin from 105 The Hawk spent a good amount of time in Spokane, Washington. Clemson. That one should be pretty easy, right? Clemson, South Carolina. Vanderbilt. Where's that one located? Nashville, Tennessee. When I was a kid, I thought Duke, Harvard especially, Yale even, were all international. I then found out, where exactly is Harvard again? It's in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Even the city sounds very British. Cambridge, Massachusetts. Yeah, it's right here in the United States. Yale, where's that one at? New Haven, Connecticut. That sounds like a gross city to be at. Let's continue with Limp Bizkit, Making Love to Morgan Wallen on K-Bear 101. Peach's Pit Party right here on K-Bear 101. I was looking at this article here. Is AI changing the way we think? AI isn't just helping us find recipes or craft emails, which I've talked about before. I've typed up emails. Well, I usually type my emails up now in ChatGPT and then just say, hey, could you proofread this and make it sound more profesh? And then it does. I copy and paste the email, send it off to whichever record rep I'm talking to, whoever it might be. Boom. Taken care of. No need to second guess proper email etiquette, even though in radio there's no need to really talk professional anyway. I still want to, kind of seem cool rather than ask, hey, give me that new single from this band now. Can't sound so commanding. But also what I've been doing is I've been taking things that I truly want to say to people on social media, And then I give it to ChatGPT, and I'm like, hey, could you make this nicer, but also witty at the same time? And I'll just copy and paste that, you know? There's been a few people that have been sort of ticked off at me for making fun of that whole Smokey the Bear edited picture. If you were listening last week, you would know. There's this Facebook group called All Things in Idaho, and somebody took a picture of Smokey the Bear somewhere with a blackboard next to him, and it says, remember, only you can prevent wildfires. I'm assuming it says that. But this person edited that sign to say, remember, only you can prevent Idaho from becoming California and Seattle and Portland. And that caused a whole bunch of people to comment. So then I made a post talking about how it is all stupid that people think us Californians are coming here and trying to take over Idaho with our, quote, liberal politics. I'm far from being a liberal. I'm far from being anything. I'm just right smack in the middle, all right? And I'm not trying to get political on this show, but the people are so dumb sometimes online. Like, there was plenty of people making the same point I was, like those who make fun of California the most have never actually been there, too. It's kind of like what I've talked about before with those people with In-N-Out Burger. They say In-N-Out's overrated, but have they been there? No. They just were told online, and then they say, well, I heard that it was overrated. Did you actually go yourself? No. Well, then you should fix that, and then maybe you have a different opinion. I mean, who knows? You have to try it first. You have to experience it first, right? I thought that was the whole point. You can't just say this band sucks and then you've never listened to them ever in your entire life. You can't name 3 songs, as the classic meme says. I've been seeing a lot more posts lately in the Life in Idaho Falls Facebook group from people looking for work. And honestly, when the job hunt gets rough enough that Facebook becomes the help wanted section, it's probably time for a better option. That's where HireEastIdaho.com comes in. I wanted to talk about this week's job of the week. It's a production worker position with Rio Products International in Idaho Falls. It's full-time, pays between $13.25 and $14 an hour, and they're looking for somebody with patience, attention to detail, a steady hand. I have none of those. No specific experience is required. And there are 2 Monday through Thursday shift options available. They're also offering benefits like medical, dental, vision, 401k, PTO, life insurance, and more. If you're tired of scrolling Facebook hoping somebody in the comments knows a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, go hit HireEastIdaho.com. Hire East Idaho, connecting people with opportunity. It's Peach's Pit Party on K-Bear 101 now with Catch Your Breath, Dark. I already talked about how yesterday was Selection Sunday, and now let's talk about some baseball in this Shot Clock Sports Update. We've got ourselves a new baseball card record as a 2013 Aaron Judge Bowman Chrome Draft Superfractor card recently sold for $5.2 million, the most ever paid for a modern-day baseball card. It's one of one and signed and features one of the greatest stars in baseball today, and it shattered the previous record held from 2020, which was $3.9 million for a similar 2009 card signed by Mike Trout. Now let's talk about tennis here. The latest tennis innovation is a place where players can get their frustrations out of the public eye. It's called a rage room. And it was inspired by Jessica Pegula, is that how you say her last name, and Madison Keys on their podcast, The Players Box. The pair came up with the concept while discussing Coco Gauff, Gauff, destroying her racket in a post-match outburst after a loss at the Australian Open in January. Gauff thought that she was out of sight, but a camera did catch her behind the scenes in the hallway. The organizers of the ATX Open were inspired by the comment and installed a rage room for last week's tournament. It was such a hit that other tournaments are looking to open their own rage rooms this season. I've seen those. I've seen Shaq talk about those times where he was so mad he was like destroying bathrooms at venues. You might as well give the NBA as well. Every sports league out there, badminton even, give them a rage room. The Seattle Mariners have come up with one of the best food ideas for the new baseball season. T-Mobile Park will start selling a Washington State ferry boat souvenir that has room for food and 2 places to put dips. The foods that you can get in the ferry boat include bases-loaded crab nachos. You got wonton chips, cheese sauce, crab salad, sesame, green onion Thai chili sauce. You got the dockside double dip with wonton chips with beer cheese crab dip, spinach artichoke crab dip, crab fries or Old Bay fries, chicken tenders with fries. If you have the palate of a 5-year-old, there you go. Fish and chips, 3 different types of fries. It all sounds pretty expensive, not going to lie. That does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. 9 Inch Nails with Wish on K-Bear 101. It's Peach's Pit Party. I'm extremely jealous still of all those people that got to go to either 9 Inch Nails at the Delta Center Friday night, or they got to go to see Nothing More with Catch Your Breath Archers and Doobie at the Union, I believe. But there are still plenty of shows on our concert calendar at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. You can also find it via the K-Bear 101 app. Just click on concert calendar right there. Tonight, we gave away tickets to this show in Salt Lake as Testament with Overkill and Destruction, the Thrash of the Titans tour taking over Salt Lake. You got a few other shows coming up on the 18th. Dark Divine with Not Enough Space. There's Varials. But then the Devil Wears Prada, who I played for my Peaches Pick of the Day earlier today. They'll be in Boise on the 25th. They'll also be in Salt Lake on the 27th. Slaughter to Prevail, going to be in Salt Lake on the 27th. Idola, the Salt Lake City natives, they're going to be at the Metro Music Hall March 28th, the same day as Lamb of God with Kublai Khan, Fit for an Autopsy, Sangui Sugabog. Slaughter to Prevail is also going to be in Boise on the 28th, the day after they're in Salt Lake with Whitechapel and Attila. Going to try my best to go to that show. Hopefully I can. I want to see Slaughter to Prevail live so badly. Find these shows and many, many others on that concert calendar. Again, at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. Speaking of bands on that concert calendar, this band is going to be in Salt Lake City on April 5th at the Complex on their co-headlining tour with Currents, also with Caskets and Aviana. It's Era with their latest, one of their latest tracks off of their new album. Here's Black Cloud. Luckily this week, the weather is getting warmer. Yeah, I did see a high of like 75 on Thursday. I think Friday as well. But as if there wasn't already enough to worry about when you're enjoying the outdoors, because you know it's going to be warmer this week, scientists are now warning ticks are starting to carry multiple diseases at the same time. Not just Lyme disease anymore. No, one little tick bite could potentially expose you to a couple different illnesses in a single shot. Researchers say it's becoming more common for ticks to be infected with more than one pathogen, which makes diagnosing and treating people a lot more complicated. Different diseases can show up with similar symptoms, but they don't always get treated the same way, which means the humble tick has somehow upgraded from being annoying to being a tiny medical mystery with legs. Oh, bugs are annoying. You know, there's tons of people that are like, save the bees, and well, I mean, they sting people and then they die, but the sting hurts and it itches for quite a long time. And then you get these people that are like, the bugs are disappearing. Well, if they are, why are we getting warnings about ticks? This is just your reminder for this whole break was just a reminder that if you're going to be out hiking, camping, fishing, even just wandering through tall grass, check for ticks when you get home. That's what I meant to talk about on that, not the previous break, but there was a break earlier where I was talking about our concert calendar at riverbendmediagroup.com/calendar. And, well, I told Victor, I was like, hey, when you're at the 9 Inch Nails show, make sure to get some great video, right? Well, what does he do? 2 days after the show happens. You see, when I went to Bad Omens, Beartooth, and President, I made sure that I got videos right then and there and then posted them literally right after I recorded them. Look at what happened to those. They got tens of thousands of views, if not a few 100,000 views. Victor then, 2 days after the show happens, puts on our Facebook, let's see those pics from the 9 Inch Nails show. And I see the one picture he posts, and it's Trent playing the piano in the far background, but I honestly can't tell if Victor is sitting down or standing up in this picture. I think he's standing up. He's just that short but this dude's head is blocking like 50% of the subject matter on the stage. That's it. It's like, and of course it didn't do well. I had a comment saying, hey, leave the concert photography to me. You wouldn't see the back of someone's head taking up 50% of the photo when I take pictures at shows. Just saying. Well, I have saved. The next show I'm going to is on the 28th, but we still need to post on social media. So I have a few like throwback videos that I'm gonna post on our socials. I was a tough time saying that word, socials. I'll post them on our socials at KBear 101 FM. I'm hoping to see these guys live at some point. Unfortunately, I think their co-headlining tour with August Burns Red is coming a little close to the other shows that I'm already planning on going to, so I don't think I'll be able to make it. But if you can go see this band, you definitely should. The Amity Affliction with House of Cards. Peach's Pit Party on KBear 101. PepsiCo launching a new line of snacks called Simply Naked, or should I say Simply NKD, because they're too cool to spell the word naked. That removes all the artificial dyes and colors from some of our favorite junk food. Be on the lookout for naked versions of nacho cheese Doritos, Cool Ranch Doritos, which I think I've seen both at Fred Meyer. They had them right there up front for a short while. Of course, the price tag was outrageous. It was like $7 for a bag of chips, and they weren't even the family size. It was just like a standard size, like the type that you would feel slightly guilty, not necessarily all that guilty for finishing the entire bag. They're also doing the Simply Naked versions of Cheetos Puffs and Flamin' Hot Cheetos. They'll look plain, but supposedly taste exactly the same as the original. Kind of like how those people who drink Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, any diet soda for that matter, they always try to tell you, oh, it's so much better for you. I remember back in the day working at Payway, and you would see these moms come in, these middle-aged women come in, and they'll order the chicken lettuce wraps because they're on a diet. They can't have carbs. And then they'll get the Diet Coke. And that's their way of cutting back. I think these chips are supposed to not have the orange dust on them. I'm assuming that because it says we've all spent years wiping orange dust off of our fingertips. Maybe these new versions are a real improvement. Are we just going to talk about food for this break? I mean, why not? Because actually, you know what? I might save this for the next break. Yeah, let's do that. All right, let's just play some did I say Black Veil Brides right now with Certainty on KBear 101. KBear 101 with 3 days grace, Mayday. For the longest time, I was eating Smucker's Uncrustables. Throughout my entire life, I've eaten those Smucker's Uncrustables. I don't avoid crust. Obviously, I eat traditional peanut butter and jelly sandwiches as well. I just thought Smucker's Uncrustables were convenient. You know, you could just thaw them, then take them out of the wrapper and eat them, and they were just like a regular peanut butter and jelly sandwich, only in the shape of a Frisbee, right? There's different flavors. There's strawberry, there's raspberry, I believe, there's grape. There's now like peanut butter with honey. There's Nutella ones as well. I'm looking at foodbeast.com. Talking more so about food news here. They just released a Burstin' blueberry flavor. This is not what I wanted to talk about. You know, it's a first world problem to deal with having to thaw out your Smucker's Uncrustables, you know, because you have to keep them frozen. So every night before bed, I do my nightly duties. You know, I'll brush my teeth, use mouthwash, you know, get myself in my pajamas. And then I go, oh, snap, I need to put the Uncrustables for tomorrow morning in the fridge because I don't want to be at work waiting 2 hours for them to thaw out. And so sure enough, I'll do that. And it's kind of like, you know, a tedious task. But now, apparently, they're making their entire lineup refrigerator friendly. While you're still able to freeze the new Uncrustables, you'll now be able to store them in the fridge for up to 5 days. This person saying, by making our entire portfolio fridge-friendly, we're eliminating thaw time so fans can enjoy that same unbeatably soft bread and favorite flavors the moment they want a snack. The vice president of the Smucker Company, Jessica Fair, saying that. I looked at the comments, and people will complain about anything. Anything at all. I looked at the comments on this specific article. You wouldn't believe how many people are like, oh, they're going to add a whole bunch of preservatives and ruin the quality of these Uncrustables. Just give me a break, dude. Any single little thing. We're even complaining about Uncrustable peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You know, there's that trend going around saying, hey, Dad, hey, so-and-so, hey, whatever your name is, what was life like in the 90s? And then they go on to either show pictures of themselves actually back in the 1990s, or they joke about it and pretend they're somebody else, or, I don't know, maybe there's people like me also doing this trend by recording Victor in his office, not telling him what I was about to do, and then show pictures of Mini-Me from Austin Powers pretending that was Victor back in the 1990s. You get it? Because he's short and bald. Anyway, I posted that on our TikTok, and somebody commented, wish where I was at in Idaho. Could listen tired of the same old stuff being repeated all day long. I'm translating this for you. He wishes he was in Idaho so he could listen to K-Bear. Luckily, shout out to Austin at the K-Bear 101 FM TikTok. Said, hey, download the K-Bear app. No reason to suffer with today's technology. He took the words right out of my mouth. You know, we're not in the 1990s anymore. You definitely should have the K-Bear app on your phone. Download it. Listen to us anywhere. There's so many ways to listen. You know that phrase I like to say, there's no excuse not to listen, all right? You have the K-Bear app. You can stream us on your desktop at kbear.fm. That's super easy when you're at work and you're just bored, or not really bored, but maybe you are bored. But, you know, if you're trying to get work done, you want to have a killer soundtrack, you want to hear what we have to say, maybe even try to see if we're giving away any concert tickets like we will be next week. Make sure to stream us at kbear.fm. You can send us a message on the K-Bear app. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can also listen to us via your Amazon Alexa. Enable the K-Bear 101 skill on that thing. Tell your Google Home device, hey, Google, play K-Bear 101. So many ways to listen, even including the old-fashioned radio that some would say peaked back in the 1990s. Let's do some turnstile here. Look out for me on Peach's Pit Party. Today's headline involves a guy in Florida who decided he really needed a septic tank. Yeah. One of those giant underground tanks from a construction site. Deputies say security cameras caught the guy trying to load this massive thing into his sweet Toyota Corolla. If you've ever seen a septic tank, you already know that's not exactly fits in the trunk territory. You know, after struggling with it for a while, he eventually gave up and drove off. But apparently he slept on it and came up with a new strategy, because he came back the next day with a rented U-Haul truck. This time he managed to haul off the tank along with a bunch of electrical pipe from the site. Investigators say he even tried to get clever by covering the truck's license plate and identification numbers with tape. But detectives, you know, they'll still do their thing. They still tracked him down, arrested him, which leaves the big unanswered question: what exactly was the plan once you successfully steal a septic tank? Because that's not the kind of thing you just casually install in the backyard over the weekend, right? This guy really had a plan. You know, he had a plan, Arthur. Florida Vanderland over here. That's today's What the Headline right here on K-Bear 101. All right, I'm not the biggest fan of soccer, but I'll talk about this anyway because I just think it's funny. During a big match in Spain over the weekend, I don't even know how you say this. Getafe? Their defender, Abdel Abkar. I don't know how you say his name. Abdel Abkar was given a straight red card and sent off the field after getting a little too hands-on with the guy on the other team, Atletico Madrid striker Alexander Sorloth, during a battle away from the ball. When I say hands-on, I mean way too hands-on. The referee stopped the match while everyone tried to figure out what just happened. Video review came up on the big screen. Let's just say the entire stadium got a replay of something you definitely don't see in a normal highlight package. Sorloth understandably did not appreciate it, pulled Abkar down in response. He got a yellow card for that, but Abkar got the red card and long walk off the field. After the match, Atletico's goalkeeper basically said that kind of thing might have flown decades ago, but it definitely has no place in the modern game. I guess I'm going to go ahead and agree with that assessment. If you don't know exactly still what I'm talking about, just look up this story. Maybe you should search handsy soccer player, Abdel Abkar. Good luck spelling that one. Remember that story last week where we talked about the big backyard chicken debate? I swear I talked about this over in Springville, Utah. The city council was getting flooded with comments from residents about how many chickens people should be allowed to have in their yards. Well, now there's an update. The city ended up changing the rules so property owners with bigger lots can keep more chickens, basically deciding that if someone has the space and it's not bothering the neighbors, there's not much reason to clamp down on it. And I'll be honest, I still really don't get the appeal of backyard chickens. I know there's a few people that moved here from other states that decided to get backyard chickens because they want to feel more country, but I don't know. I don't see the point in me wanting to go out and get chickens. Maybe that's the Southern California in me talking, because growing up you just didn't see that. Chickens were something you saw on a farm somewhere, not next door in somebody's yard. Out here, though, people take backyard chickens very seriously. Personally, all I can think about is the noise. You know, those things are loud, they're messy, they seem like a lot of work, but clearly people are passionate about it because this whole chicken debate got more feedback from residents than a lot of normal city issues. That shows you how country that city must be. You know, they don't care about taxes, none of that. They're like, how many chickens can we have in our backyard? Which just proves once again, you want to get a town fired up, mess with people's chickens. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, aka Brendan Peach, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.